Bakugou and Kirishima learned the hard way that the only thing more dangerous than a high-ranked villain is a partner who knows exactly how to pack an overnight bag and disappear when they've been treated like an outsider in their own home. Arguments with them always started over something stupid. You'd been in the kitchen, making tea when you heard it. Katsuki's voice sharp and cutting from the living room. Ijiro's deeper tone pushing back with usual firmness. Something about a training schedule, maybe, or the groceries you hadn't cut the beginning. And honestly, it didn't matter. What mattered was the way the air in the apartment had gone tight and electric, the way it always did when these two locked horns. You set your mug down and padded into the living room in your socks. "Hey," you said, keeping your voice light. "What's going on?" Neither of them looked at you.
"Said I'd handle it, so I am handling it. Stop breathing down my neck about it." "I'm not breathing down your neck. I'm just saying we should have told her sooner."
"Katsuki, Ijiro." You stepped between them, or tried to. Neither of them budged. "Can someone tell me what this is about?" Katsuki's red eyes finally cut to you, and the look on his face wasn't cruel, exactly, but it was dismissive in a way that stung.
"Mind your own business."
You blinked. "Excuse me."
"You heard me."
He looked back at you.
"This doesn't involve you."
Something hot flared in your chest, but you swallowed it. You looked at Ijiro instead, expecting what? An apology? An explanation? He at least had the decency to look uncomfortable. His jaw was tight, shoulders drawn up.
"Why?
His voice was gentler, but the words weren't.
You can stay out of this one, okay?"
The silence that followed felt like a door closing in your face. Stay out of this. You stood there for one more second. Just one. Long enough for either of them to take it back, to soften, to reach for you. But neither of them did. Katsuki had already turned back to whatever point he'd been making, hand gesturing sharply, voice low and heated again. Ijiro crossed his arms and matched him. He turned around and walked back to the kitchen, picked up your mug, set it back down, and then you went to the bedroom, grabbed your overnight bag from the top shelf of the closet, and started packing. You texted your friend from the cab. "Can I stay with you for a few days?" The reply came in under 30 seconds. "I'm already making up the couch. Get here." You didn't leave a note. 2 days felt like the right amount of time to stop shaking, not from sadness, but from anger. That specific, clarifying kind of anger that burns clean and leaves something harder in its place. You'd loved them through Katsuki's sharp edges and Ijiro's blind spots 100 times over. That was part of loving people, the parts that weren't easy. But there was a difference between hard and dismissive, between complicated and mind your business. You were their girlfriend, not a roommate, not background noise. Your friend let you vent until your voice gave out, fed you good food, and had the wisdom not to say anything too conclusive about either of them. By the second morning, you felt steadier, ready to go back, not ready to pretend it hadn't happened. The apartment was quiet when you unlocked the door. Both of them were home. You could feel it, that specific atmospheric pressure of two large personalities occupying a space. Ijiro's shoes were by the door. Katsuki's keys were on the hook. He set your bag down in the hallway and went to the kitchen. He heard Ijiro before he saw him.
"Why?"
His voice came from the living room doorway almost immediately, like he'd been listening for the door.
"Hey, you're back."
He opened the fridge, scanned it without seeing anything.
We were worried about you.
He closed the fridge, moved to the cabinet, found the glass.
Wyan.
He filled the glass at the tap and walked past him to the bedroom. Katsuki caught you after dinner. You'd made food, enough for 3, because Spite only went so far, and you weren't going to start being petty about meals. But you'd eaten at the counter instead of at the table, and when you were done, you'd rinsed your plate and headed for the bathroom to take a shower. He was in the hallway.
Hey.
His voice was different from usual, scrubbed off its usual edge, or most of it.
We need to talk.
You looked at him for a moment, and then you stepped around him and went into the bathroom and locked the door. You heard him exhale through his nose. Good. It was Ijiro who finally broke through it, and only because he sat down on the floor outside the bedroom door and talked, not at it, through it.
I know you're not asleep,
he said. His voice was low, not performing anything.
And I'm not asking you to come out.
A pause.
I'm sorry for what I said. You can stay out of this.
He said it like it tasted bad.
That was wrong of me. You're not someone we get to dismiss like that. You're not on the outside of us, Wyan. That's not what you are.
He stared at the ceiling.
Katsuki's sorry too. He's not going to say it like this, because he literally cannot. But he's been cleaning the apartment for 2 days, so...
Despite everything, something in your chest slightly shifted.
We were arguing about something that involved you.
Ijiro continued.
That's the stupid part. It was about you and we shut you out of it. And that's bad. That's really bad. And I don't have any excuse for it.
Silence.
You don't have to forgive us tonight, he said. I just needed you to know that we know.
You lay there for a long time, and then you got up and unlocked the door and opened it. Ijiro was sitting on the floor exactly like you'd said, back against the wall, knees up, looking exhausted in a way that had nothing to do with training. He looked up at you. Behind him, further down the hallway, Katsuki stood with his arms crossed and his jaw tight. But he was there. He'd stayed. His eyes met yours and he looked away first, which was as close to flinching as he ever got. You looked between them. You have one chance to explain what you were actually arguing about. You said, and then we're going to talk about the part that you decided I wasn't worth including. Ijiro nodded immediately, and Katsuki uncrossed his arms. He stepped back to let them in. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you liked this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and goodbye.